We are breathing progressive air today in nice blue California. We're here with our favorite Gatriot in the United States of America, AustinShow. Austin, how are you?
I'm doing great, and it's so lovely to be with you two ladies. It's such a privilege to have you in California. What a breath of fresh air.
Thank you. We need it. We've been breathing all this MAGA air for a while. I feel smarter.
Yeah.
I feel better already just for being here.
You guys look better. You look healthier.
Thank you.
When are we going to import you from Oklahoma? We need to, I think I need to send somebody to get you guys out of there.
Like a hostage rescue.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Earlier today, Trump showed up 40 minutes late to
hour and 40 minutes
late to Mar-a-Lago press conference. And I want to remind the listener, he lives there.
Yeah.
Okay. He lives at Mar-a-Lago, and he was an hour, 40 minutes late. But it was a complete shit show. And the dementia is really, really thumping right now. Pumps, play the clip.
I don't think anybody has ever seen anything like what happened the other night at Madison Square Garden. The love in that room. It was breathtaking, and you could have filled it many, many times with the people that were unable to get in. But politicians that have been doing this for a long time, 30 and 40 years, said there's never been an event so beautiful. It was like a love fest, an absolute love fest, and it was my honor to be involved. And hopefully, you know, they started to say, well, in 1939, the Nazis used Madison Square Garden. Well, and you know what? But can you imagine it? In 1939, the Nazis, they would. But how terrible to say, right? Because, you know, they've used Madison Square Garden many times. Many people have used it, but nobody's ever had a crowd like that. And I tell you what, right now, nobody's ever had love like that. That was love in the room, and it was love for our country.
That's what I got when I watched
Absolutely.
it. I got a warm, safe freedom.
I think at one point there was so much love, somebody felt the need to talk about slaughtering people.
Yes.
I think at one point one of the speakers said that. There was another one. There are multiple very poor racist jokes made. I mean, that's what I would expect in a stadium full of love.
How about one of the speakers that let it slip? That he said, I know it's off brand for me to be doing a Nazi rally. And I also want to point out that Trump's lawyer, Alina Habba, who has won 0 court cases. In fact, he was convicted on 34 felony counts. She comes out to the song, All I Do Is Win.
Oh.
With a straight face. Dancing.
She brags about being sanctioned $1 million in such a poor job of a lawsuit that the judge sanctioned her $1 million. And she's like, can you believe they did that to me? And I'm like, judges don't sanction you hardly ever. Yeah. She is deplorable. I mean, she goes on the top of the bag of the deplorable lawyers, I feel like. Even more so than Rudy Giuliani, because he's an alcoholic. I mean, he kind of gets a break a little bit.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the fact that he's saying this is a love fest, and this is this continued onslaught of cognitive dissonance, of gaslighting, where we all know what we saw. It was, you know, Puerto Ricans or, you know, garbage can, Latinos don't pull out. Just a lot of really
not
racist,
even good jokes either.
Racist, really
just offensive,
gross stuff. And at the core of this, he's talking about the exact same thing that Hitler spoke about, which is rounding up people that you don't like, which in the 1930s, it was the Jewish race. Here it's immigrants. And once you round them up, they have to be concentrated somewhere. And the fact that he could sit there and say with a straight face, this is a love fest. And what's so problematic for me is how many people go along with this and cheer and applaud when he says these things that will be crimes against humanity if he does them.
No, it's so absolutely terrifying that every time he does something like this, and he continue over and over and over again, they just write it off as, oh, it's just Trump.
It's a love fest.
It's a love fest. Come on, you're too sensitive.
Right.
You're too sensitive.
Take a joke.
You can't take a joke. But it's interesting, the backlash to this, I think the campaign has talked, the Harris-Walz campaign has talked about, this is something that they've seen break through, and the first thing that's broken through in a long time. And it makes sense because specifically with the Puerto Rican terrible Puerto Rican joke. There are 500,000 Puerto Ricans in the state of Pennsylvania, which, as we know, is a significant swing state in this election. Not only that, in every single swing state, there are a significant amount of Puerto Ricans, and they're upset and they're pissed. And
They
I
should
wouldn't,
be.
yeah, as they should be. And we should all be upset, and we should all be pissed. And I will say, one thing that I find humorous about this: how do you bomb a racist joke in front of a bunch of racists? I mean, this is your prime. This is like. It's like right in front of you. Got your crowd.
Right.
They love racist jokes. And you bomb it.
Yeah.
They didn't laugh at it.
No.
How do you do it? I
They
don't know.
didn't. Surprisingly, they didn't laugh at the watermelon joke about black people. They didn't laugh at the pull-out joke about Latinos.
I heard him cheering. on
Did
all
you
of that.
hear?
Yeah,
I didn't
don't
hear
know
it.
what-
I
heard
felt like it was
laughing and cheering.
It was
for sure.
pity cheers.
Yeah,
You felt like it was pity
No,
cheers?
the Puerto Rican joke bombed.
yeah.
You go watch that back.
Okay.
It definitely bombed. Pretty much all of his jokes did.
All right, what other clips do you have?
Okay, so this is one of my favorite things because we all know how obsessed Trump is with the Obamas and how he's so jealous of their popularity, skill, Obama's athleticism, attractiveness.
Doesn't have to wear a full face of makeup every day.
Right. Okay, so
I just want to also point out, I've been watching a lot of footage of Trump, and he has terrible posture. I just wanted to put that on the permanent record. Aside from being unathletic, a terrible dresser, terrible at blending his makeup, the posture is horrible.
Yeah.
Okay,
horrible.
proceed.
Okay, here it is.
Remember when I met with Obama, his wife was very nasty to me the other day. Oh, that was not nice. She was very nasty. She said nasty things. I was always very respectful of her, but she got up there, which shows you how nervous they are about what's happening. But she was nasty 2 days ago. She got up and said some bad things she shouldn't have said. They were wrong too. But we're going to turn our country around and.
Okay, he's the biggest titty baby on the planet. If you don't want to get your feelings hurt, don't run for president.
Right.
And let's remind everybody that he built his campaign on racist rhetoric, claiming that Barack Obama wasn't American.
Yeah.
And then he's just such a fragile titty baby. It's wham, call the ambulance. Michelle Obama spit facts at me.
He's always-
What a pussy. And he
always.
talks about all the time. They try to berate liberals that you have to have all these safe spaces. That is the biggest safe space megasphere that I have ever seen. They're the biggest titty babies. They have to have their little hate rallies. But whenever they trot out into corporate media, much less independent media, it's stage 5 meltdown. Everybody's mean to me. I've had it.
Oh, always. Oh, I've had it too. It's insane all the time. He's such a. Can I curse on this thing?
Yes.
Such a fucking weenie.
Yeah.
And this is the guy that they put on as like they Photoshop him as like big, manly, muscular. Since when did this like idea become this?
It's the insecure alpha male part
Yeah,
of him.
yeah.
And now they're all emulating it because they
Yeah.
want to be alpha males. And they're all just fucking
Snowflakes.
beta snowflakes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All snowflakes. And he has this thing where if you are nice to him and you suck up to him, he loves you. But the moment you turn on him, you're the worst thing ever. That's why he cozies up to dictators.
That's
like
why he's
Putin
so
and-
dangerous for American foreign policy, because Kim Jong-un knows this, Putin knows this, Viktor Orban knows this, she knows this. All you have to do is say, man, you are so powerful. You're one of the best presidents ever. And then the next thing you know, if he wins, Putin will be in Kiev.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, that's just to think that all of the world's dictators are organizing and uniting right now, banking on that buffoon
Yeah.
and all of the American armed forces so that they can, do a hostile takeover of the world. I mean, that's their master plan.
No, I mean, yeah, and and he is completely oblivious to it. Flattery will get you everywhere with
Yes.
Donald Trump.
Like,
Everywhere.
because that shows how weak he is.
Right.
They think he's so strong, but how weak that you're so susceptible to superficial flattery.
There's one thing I believe Donald Trump when he says it, and he says he'd end the war in Ukraine. And you know what? I believe him. You know why? It's because he'd give Ukraine to Russia.
Right.
Yeah.
Here he is.
He would give Ukraine to Russia. That's why the war would end.
He's so gross.
He's disgusting.
Okay, so here's one of my favorites because the economy, they just came out, said of the G7 nations, the U.S. economy is far and away the best. All of the things, stock market, all that. So here's Trump at his little titty baby fest in Mar-a-Lago.
destruction of our economy. Our economy is not, this is just, it's like a fake economy. Some of the best people on Wall Street are saying the economy is only good because they think, I don't want to say this because other people have said it. It's not me saying it, but they think Trump is going to get elected. That's the only reason.
That's insane.
Okay, first and foremost, he seems low energy there.
Yeah.
Slurred speech. I think they have him on like uppers. He's on amphetamines, and that's when you see like that 2 a.m. cap lock rage tweet. And then that sounds like he's on benzodiazepines. But also this whole thing that he has to say is just peak insecurity. Everybody's saying it. Everybody thinks it. He never can make a statement and back it up with real facts. His facts are everybody's saying it, which are the obsequious sycophants that surround him and scrub his asshole all day. I mean, that is literally his source for anything and everything. And he has all these yes men that surround him all the time.
They have to be yes men, because if they won't, they'll get fired or whatnot.
Can you imagine working for him? I mean, seriously, what could be possibly worse?
You have to lick his ass all day.
Yeah.
Ooh, and it's probably not clean, but that's
of course not.
Okay, so the last clip I want to show you, Austin, is he's already crying election foul.
Oh, of course. Oh, God.
I mean,
election fraud.
Election fraud, it's already here.
It's going very well. There are some bad spots in Pennsylvania where some serious things have been caught or in the process of being caught, but the election itself is going very well.
This is their plan. They started it in 2020 to sow doubt and create the narrative that there's election fraud. So when they lose, they can say that there's election fraud. So what you're seeing now are cases of not in Pennsylvania, it wasn't election fraud. It was voter registration fraud, which is really easy to catch because in Pennsylvania, they double check the ID to the registration. So it's very easy to catch. So you're seeing some of these examples all around the country of conservatives committing fraud,
right?
Because they have bought into this lie that there's this like mass fraud by Democrats. And so what they're doing is being like, well, if they're doing it, I'm going to do it too. And they're actually committing fraud. You see in Portland, Oregon, by the way, such a conservative stronghold. They're burning ballot boxes. And also in Clark County in Vancouver, they burn. Now, we don't know exactly who did it, right? We don't know who did it. Who knows?
I would bet my French Bulldog's life. It's a MAGA
of course.
Republican.
In Portland, I mean, like what liberal is burning down a ballot box in Multnomah County in Portland, Oregon? Give me a break.
This prep before we go into the election reminds me of my sons played AAU basketball, and you're showing up to play a team that's really, really good, and you start hearing all the players say, oh, that other team, they lie about their age.
Right.
They don't bring their birth certificates.
Yes.
They're lying. They're actually 2 years older than us. It's so weak.
Yes.
It's so pathetic.
It is.
This is a blame the ref. I'm too big of a pussy to take personal accountability. Think about little kids play basketball or t-ball or football at the YMCA, and they get their asses kicked. And then what do we make them do? Line up and slap hands.
Yes.
This guy cannot concede the election still. I mean, he slipped up on Rogan the other day. He's like, I lost. I won.
Yeah.
I lost.
No, I saw that. Yeah. you guys both are mothers.
Yeah.
Right? And that's one of the first thing when I was taught by my mother, when you lose, or my father rather, or both, when you lose, you are a good sport. You shake the other team and gracious. And that's what a lot of these Republicans used to say.
Well, it's like we have a saying I say to my kids all the time, suck it up, buttercup. Yeah. Life's not fair. Suck it up. Adulthood is all about a series of managing suffering and disappointment. It's not all cupcakes and rainbows like it is when you're a kid. Yeah. So start sucking it up, buttercup. Yeah. And this guy, he cheats at golf. Have you seen the videos of him? He cheats at golf, and he makes awards saying that he's like the club champion.
Every year.
It's pathetic. I saw a video of him the other day saying that he was running uphill on a treadmill, and the doctors were saying, "We've never seen anything like this."
That just cannot.
Yeah, come on.
We know that's false.
I see your fat ass.
Yeah,
You're not running
he's clinically obese.
You're not running on a treadmill.
No.
I promise you.
He's not running, period. The funny thing you mentioned about the golf thing, and I don't know if this is true or not, so I heard, so I'll preface that, but Arnold Palmer, he was talking about his dick or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
The
so
cock
evidently
talk.
Arnold Palmer hated him because he cheated at golf.
Right. Everyone
Yeah.
hates him.
Yeah, of course.
All right, that's all we have for today. We will see you guys tomorrow.
It's so